Very good morning to all my dear learners. I hope you all are safe and fine at your places. So today what we are going to learn? We are going to learn the third part of our last unit, that is unit number 10. Welcome to the ocean of physical education. Physical education. And we are going to deal with part number 3. Which part we are going on? We are going on with part number 3. This is part 3. The name of our chapter is Training and Doping in Sports. Doping in Sports. Alright, dear students, so we are dealing with this chapter, last chapter, and this chapter is based on training and doping in sports. What is our today's topic? Our today's topic is based upon the principle of sports training. What are the principles of the sports training? Right? Principles of sports training. Yes, so we are dealing with the principles of sports training, and now we need to understand what is the meaning of the sports training. So sports training is that training which consists of the study of the behavior pattern of the children, of the kid while playing. So let us suppose, as we all know, that we are playing, we are teaching a game to our students, and that game is, for example, students football. And when we are teaching football, it's very important for us to know the potential of the student. So when the training period is going on, right? When the training period is going on, we'll be able to understand the behavior of the person, the situation of that person, will be able to understand what is the response of the person to the particular stimuli. So it will give a glance to us that yes, this is the work of our children, this is the work of our kiddo. So it has become very important for us to understand the child properly. Right? So let's begin with the principles. What are the principles on which this sports training based upon? The first thing is principles of continuity or regularity. Right? The first principle. Principle of continuity, okay, or regularity. What's the principle of continuity and regularity? It is very important that during the training program, while it may be a preparatory part, it may be a competition part, or it may be a transition part, it is very important to be regular towards the activity. Let's take an example. If you are running, okay, on the regular timing or on the daily basis, right? And if you are running for the daily basis, it is very easy for you, right? It is very easy for you to do running for a longer pace, right? But if you are not running for the longer time and I wanted you to run, it will become so difficult for you to run a longer distance. So it is very important to be regular in a kind of activities. So first thing that we should know, that regularity or continuity towards a program or a training is very important. One should be regular to attend a particular thing, right? So regularity is very important if you want to improve your progress further. Principles of proper, we can say proper overloading. Principle of proper overloading. See, let's take an example of gym. When you are visiting gym and you will have to load something, like let's suppose you So first day we'll be telling you just run for 10 minutes on the pace number 3. Cycling for 5 minutes. Okay. Squats, 50 squats, 50 jumping jacks. Then they will not directly tell you to just go and start the weightlifting and all, the deadlift and all. Why? Because everything has a principle, and we need to go accordingly in the scientific manner, in the systematic manner. So if we really want that the principle of proper overloading, we need to follow some scientific techniques, skills and abilities. We need to go in such kind of manner, right? So the principles of proper overloading is very important. Got it? It is very important for us to understand the importance of principle. If we talk about the second, the third thing, the third principle. So the third principle is, the specific and the scientific training, right? Third thing is principle of scientific and specific. Principle of scientific and specific training. Why I am telling you about the scientific and the specific training? Let us suppose if we talk about the warm-up, okay? And right now if I am talking about the warm-up of football. So we have a specific warm-up for football. We have a specific warm-up for Kho. See, the games require different physical fitness. Like some games which is based on the endurance related activity, some games which is based on the explosive power, explosive strength, some games which is based on the speed, some of them which is based on the coordinative ability. So we need to be specific. The activity should be specific. So the principle of scientific approach or systematic training is very, very important. We need to act specifically to build up that particular component, right? So principle of individual difference is also understood, right? For this principle of individual difference, principle of individual difference, what I want to tell you here is that, see, each and every children has different caliber. Not all the students are equal. Their grasping capacity is different, their performance skills are different. See, as we understand in the part of personality, that all the children are, have some unique characters in them, right? So they are differently able, right? All they are possessing different qualities in them. So it is very important to understand their need. It is very important to know what they want, what is their need, what is their capacity. Okay, so we need to understand the individual difference in training programs. We need to understand the individual difference, what is their capacity, what they actually want, and how they are addressing things, what are they doing, right? So principle of individual difference is very important, so that we can plan out the proper individual programs. Okay, individual program can be scheduled so that their mistakes and the rectification and all things can be done. Proper, principles of rest and recovery is again a very important thing. Principle of rest and recovery, right? So when I'm talking about the principle of rest and recovery, see, when we take load, when we do a kind of exercise, so our body also requires some rest. So one should know the principle of rest and recovery. The principle of rest and recovery is really very important because it will guide an individual to, after a stressful work, how much load is required. So principle of rest and recovery is very important. Next thing if we are going to talk about is proper warming up and limbering down. Okay. Next point is proper warming up limbering down. What is warming up? Warming up means the general raise of the body temperature. The general raising of our body temperature is called warm up. Warm up is done before any game. These are some series of exercises which enhance our temperature so that we will be mentally, physically ready for the play, for the game, for the competition. If we talk about limbering down, so yes, limbering down is also called cooling down, and limbering down is done obviously after the stressful activity or after the game, so that the body temperature can be come up to the normal extent. Warming up and limbering down play a very important role in the field of sports training. One should go for warming up to avoid a sports injury, strain, sprain, cramp, anything else, right? Just warming up is very important, the general raising of body temperature, and limbering down is also very important. What is limbering down? Limbering down is related to the cooling down, the cool down of the body temperature. Principle of progression. The next thing is principle of progression. Principle of progression. Progress, worth, enhancement, right? So as we all know, when the preparatory part start, the competition part, then it is followed by the transition. In the preparatory part, what we taught, there are three things. We'll talk: the basic skill, then the specific skills, then the actual matches, right? In the competition part, there will be matches with correction in the work. Then the competition part second, there will be matches with there will be actual matches and correction, motivation, feedback, and all done, right? Next thing is transition period. In transition period, what will done? In transition period, we will be able to recreate recreational activities in all for the children. So we need to check why sports training is all about. Why it is here? Sports training is here just because to understand the need of the children and to enhance the sports performance. That's it. Sports psychology or sports training is to enhance the performance of the player. So it is very important to have a strict vigilance over the progress of our children. So principle of progress is really important. It guides us to check whether the progress is stable, whether the graph is increasing, and all. So principle of progression is very important. Psychological feedback, motivation, etc. The third principle of psychological motivation and feedback. Right? So when I'm talking to you about the principles of motivation or the principle of feedback, psychological feedback is very important. Motivation play a very important role in the transformation of the player to enhance the performance. Motivation is what? Motivation is change in the inner urge of a person to think different, to do something which is very important to enhance the performance, to energize the particular student. So it has become very important for an individual to learn new things, to understand our children, to understand the basic requirement of life. So the psychological changes, the motivation part, the feedback and all, it's really very important. Students just keep in our mind the principle of psychology and motivation, feedback. See, when the game is on, when the actual matches is going on, the correction will be done, the transformation and skills will do. Will allow our children to understand that बच्चे ये this skill आप जो भी ये skill perform कर रहे हो faulty है इसको ठीक से perform करो, movement should be correct, right? So what one should here understand is psychological feedback. What's that psychological feedback is all about? One should understand the feedback, the psychological feedback. क्या है psychological feedback? समझो. Psychological feedback or motivation, it means to change the inner urge of a person so that the progress can be enhanced. Psychological feedback is really important for us. Now the next thing is medical checkup, which is also very important. Okay, so ninth. Before any activity, medical checkup should be there so that one can understand about the heart rate, the blood pressure, and everything. It is very important into the field of training that psychological this medical checkup should be done. Otherwise, the person will be in trouble. So, psychological feedback should be there. It is very important to consider that. Okay, psychological feedback play a very important role, and medical checkup should be done before any activity. Total body involvement is the another thing. Total body involvement. What is this total body involvement? When I'm telling you about the total body involvement, so it is basically related with the involvement of the body. Why I'm telling you total body involvement? Total body involvement means what? When the training period is going on, each and every muscles should get the exercise. The exercise should be done for all the muscles. When the training period is going on, the exercise like the core muscles, like the upper body, like the lower body, the leg exercise, so many things. So principle of training suggests us that the whole body, the total body involvement is very important. It is must in the arena of training, in the arena of physical education. Adaptation and tolerance. This is also one of the important things. That is the 11th point. Adaptation and tolerance. What is this adaptation and tolerance is all about? See, when the exercise is going on, so we need to make a body of the players so that in such a manner we need to modify so that they can adapt. They can adapt to that situation and they will be able to tolerate the extensive exercise. So their body should have capacity to adapt and to tolerate, right? So it is very important to have the principle of adaptation. It means while doing exercise day by day, you will be able to modify your body for that particular task. Tolerance is very important if we talk about the lactate threshold. Whenever you do activity for a longer duration, so you suddenly feel pain on the side of your side region, right? So it is very important to tolerate it. So if your lactate threshold is good, lactic acid will not deposit in your bloodstream, so it will become good for you to do to overcome the fatigue. That is the endurance activity, right? Principle of adaptation, like we understood here, adaptation and tolerance. Principles of repetition, right? The next principle is principle of repetition. Principle of adaptation, right? Principle of adaptation. And what's this principle of adaptation is all about? Principle of adaptation I was talking to you, and principle of adaptation was based on how things happen with you, how will you adapt with the particular activity. And the next thing that I would like to tell you here is the adaptation of activity. See, when we do activity and when we are new for that, so it will become difficult for us to understand that thing, right? So principle of adaptation is play a very important role in the life of a candidate. So the last point was principle of recovery. What was the principle? Principle of recovery. क्या है principle of recovery? For example, you got a sports injury, right? If you got a sports injury, so will you recover it? How will you recover it? What is the duration? How it will work, right? So we have understood so many points which is based on the principle of sports training. The first is principle of regularity. Second is the principle of proper overloading. Third was the principle of scientific and specific training. Fourth is the principle of individual difference. One should understand the individual work. The rest and the recovery, the warming up, the limbering down, the progress, right? The principle of progress, the principle of psychological and motivation feedback. Motivation play a very important role to energize a person. Medical checkup is very important. Total body involvement, which is the part of the training. Adaptation and tolerance is a very important topic to go for. Principle of recovery. So this was all about this unit, that is the part number 3. So with this, take care. Bye bye. Lots of love and lots of blessing to all my dear children. Bye bye. Take care.